Hey y'all, I'm Val from Our Forever Farm and we're back in the kitchen today. Imagine that. So today we're gonna do poblano. Let me see if I can say it. Today we're gonna do poblano peppers. Now I've never done this before and very seldom do you see me do a dish that I've never done on video. But today we're gonna try this and I just found a recipe and we're gonna go with it, so we'll see what happens. So the first thing we're supposed to do is wash them and dry them, and then we're gonna like char them over the stove eye or a grill or a broiler. You wanna char them to where they're almost black, and then you peel the peeling off. Again, I've never done this, so we're gonna do it together. So what I've done is I've washed these and I'm actually drying these. I'm not drying them real good. Now, I've been studying about these and they say when you buy them at the grocery store, and they say they're plentiful, these are a type of chili peppers, and you look for one to buy or some to buy, you want to make sure they're flat on each side, and that's where you can lay it on the eye and broil it or turn it over and it lays flat to get the peeling off. They say peeling it is very messy. I've never done this. This one's kind of old. I'm gonna throw that in away. And some of these are very small. So I did see a recipe. It looked really good. So some of these I'm gonna cut up in strips and I'm gonna freeze them for that because I wanna do that later on. But today I'm gonna pick about 4 and I'm gonna make a real simple recipe with ground beef. So this recipe that I'm doing today calls for chicken, but I don't have any chicken cooked, so I'm gonna brown some ground beef, and that's what I'm gonna use. I'm only doing about 4 of these, and I'll tell you why. Because first of all, I don't know, how we'll like it. This is a new recipe, I've never tried it. So I'm gonna pick 4 of the biggest peppers that have the flat sides. The rest of them, I'm gonna slice in slices because I saw a recipe with sour cream and made a cream sauce. It looked heavenly. And I think these smaller ones will be perfect for that. So what I'm gonna do is slice these, flash freeze them, and then I can make that later on for y'all. And we can do that together. But today I'm just gonna take about 4 of these peppers. I'm gonna charbroil the skin. Don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I don't know if I'm doing it on the stove. I don't know if I'm doing it in the broiler, or if I'm gonna get Sweet Hunter to turn on the grill. So I've picked out my 4 peppers. Now they grow these big. These are not huge. These are maybe medium size. I've got some small ones. That's the ones I'm gonna slice up. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the seeds and the core out, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Now again, remember, I've never done this. I've worked with lots of peppers, but I've never done this kind. So we'll see how that goes. So before I start those peppers, I got my gloves out. Some people say you use gloves, some people don't. I'm gonna do it safely. So I'm gonna go ahead and brown this ground beef in this kettle on the stove. We're gonna get the ground beef browned. So this recipe says to turn your oven on to 400. Okay, I think what they're wanting you to do is to bake or broil this in the oven. It said to line your pan with aluminum foil. Now, I would say you could do this with any pepper. I'm just saying, I would do it with bell pepper. I think it sounds pretty good. So I've got my aluminum foil in my pan. And a lot of people are going to tell me not to use aluminum foil. I'm using aluminum foil, so, so be it. And I've got it sprayed. Now I'm going to take the seeds out of these peppers. Looks like I'm making a big mess here, but as you can see, I made like a T cut in it. And then I just opened it up barely to get the core out, and I just dumped the seeds out. So far, so good. So now it's calling for 1 tablespoon of garlic, minced. Now, I could have used the minced garlic out of the jar, but I had this fresh garlic, and I thought that would be so much better. So I'm just doing a rough chop on it. So now I'm just browning the ground beef. And yes, as you can tell, I'm still a little bit sick. So instead of taking the ground beef out and draining the grease off, I just do it the easy way because I wanted to leave a little in there to saute the onions in. My friends are on the way again. If you saw, look, this is what I do all the time. I leave cabinet doors open. Drives my husband crazy. I'm glad he's not up here. I just leave cabinet doors. I leave drawers open. It's crazy when I'm cooking. Now, when I leave the kitchen, my kitchen's spotless. So as you can see now, I'm just chopping up half of an onion. I've already got my garlic sitting there waiting, but the onion will go in next with the ground beef mixture. So I just left a little space open in the pan, and I'm going to put the onions in that area, and we're just going to saute these onions with the ground beef. And here we are, we're just dicing up a couple of good-sized tomatoes. These are fresh tomatoes. I'm going to miss these so much. I had a tomato sandwich today. It was just delicious. Now my onions and my ground beef have sauteed together, and now we're going to add the tomatoes. Now I'm leaving the garlic to last because garlic is easy to burn. So this recipe that I'm using as a guide, you know I never go by it. It calls for Mexican oregano. I just had oregano. You always want to crush the oregano to bring the flavors out. It also calls for a cumin. And I'm adding smoked paprika. I just add that to a lot of my dishes. I just think it'll be really, really good. Y'all know I never go exactly by a recipe, but the recipe will be in the description box. And this recipe calls for you to place your peppers on aluminum foil that's been sprayed, put a little olive oil on it, and just rub it around. And then it calls for the oven temperature to be at 400 degrees and to bake it for about 30 minutes. Now, I decided just to do these in the oven like this one recipe says. I'm just rubbing this olive oil around. I've got some on the bottom too where I sprayed it. And I just want them kind of covered in this olive oil, and then we'll watch them really close in the oven. But I've got it on bake 400, and it says it'll take about 30 minutes. So about halfway through, I want to check on those to see if they're charred. They're supposed to be black. It's supposed to be a simple way to roast them because you have to peel these peppers. You have to. So even before I slice these have to be roasted. So if this in the oven works good, I'm going to use that method. If it doesn't, I'll put these on the grill or I'll put them over my eye. I'm going to stir this up real quick. This looks delicious. And we're just going to let that cook down a little bit. Now I'm kind of doing it kind of backwards. I'm getting the filling done before the peppers. But I've got some company coming and I want to have all this started. I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic because that filling is about done. So my plans today is to do this Mexican dish and get all these peppers put up. I've saw several recipes about these peppers that when you start to cook them, your house will smell heavenly. I can already smell these peppers roasting. Isn't that something? They don't even have the filling in them. What we do, this is what we'll do. We will cook these for about 20-30 minutes until they're charbroiled and I'm just baking them. We'll see if that works. It's supposed to soften the pepper. We'll be turning them in between this 30 minutes, inside that 30-minute span, to make sure it gets not really cooked, but it's supposed to be charbroiled. I don't know how this bacon's going to do. We'll see. It's supposed to be soft. Then you put it in a bowl, cover it with saran wrap while they're hot, and leave them for about 20 or 30 minutes, and it steams them. that makes it easier to peel, is what I'm told. You can put it in a paper bag too. I've saw that, and I've actually saw people put them in Ziploc bags. We're trying the oven method. We'll see how it works. If it don't, we'll do something else with these. So look how good this looks. Don't that look delicious? Oh my goodness. It's got all the spices in it. We've got to add some salt and some pepper. So I'm going to do that next. But I wanted you to see this. Isn't this beautiful? Now I decided, since we're doing peppers and we're stuffing peppers, which you could do this same stuffing for bell peppers, I'm just going to add salt and not the pepper. So I'm going to add probably a teaspoon of salt in here. That may look like a lot, but for this, it's a pound of ground beef. You can use chicken, pork, whatever you want. You could mix it if you want. This is going to be delicious. So I've got my garlic simmering in there now. The house smells heavenly, I can tell you that. So I have turned the broiler on my oven. So I'm going to watch these really close because I decided to get them charbroiled pretty quick. We need to turn the broiler on. We'll see how it works. That bake, just my oven doesn't get things real brown on the top, so I don't think baking it's going to do it. So while we're doing the peppers, I wanted to taste of this mixture and see if it needed anything else. I think it's going to be good. It's very hot. I don't think it needs anything. That is delicious. Delicious. So since we've had this on broil just a few minutes, let's check it and see what it looks like. Oh my goodness. See, it is blistering them, y'all. It's blistering the peppers. I'm going to leave that in just a few minutes. Can you see that? There's one that's actually a little charbroiled. Oh my goodness, this is exciting. So this is working good. Let's leave those in there just another minute. Check them again. I don't think this is going to take 30 minutes with the broiler. So disregard everything I said about baking for 30 minutes. This is the way I'm going to do it. So since I know this is working, and I got to check that real quick again, I'm going to go ahead and fix a cookie sheet with some foil on it for the other peppers. I'll spray that with oil, and then I'll put all the other peppers on there. And you'll see that in just a second. I'm going to check these peppers again because they were really, really close, and I don't want to burn them. I think it's looking really, really good. I hope y'all can see that. So these peppers have to be peeled. And to peel them, you have to blister the skin, is the way I understand everything. See how that's opening up? That's where we're going to put the filling. Look at that. So I'm not going to turn these quite yet. But I am going to spray this cookie sheet. Now it says to do it with olive oil, and that's fine, but I don't have a spray olive oil, and I want to get this sprayed really good. And then I'm going to put all the peppers on here. So I've got these ready. Now these have not been de-seeded. I'm going to de-seed them afterwards. So let me get these out of the oven. Yes, these are great. So I am going to turn these over and let them get brown on the other side, or charbroiled is what they say. See? Well, I was feeling pretty confident. I thought these looked perfect. I steamed them just like it said. I'm even trying to scrape this peeling off with a knife. I can't get it off. I just can't do it. Everything I told you is true. I just can't do it. It was harder than you think. And I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong or when I can't do it. I'm not going to act like I could. Look at me, I'm scraping it off. I can't do it. I even rewarmed them, put them back in a Ziploc bag, trying to re-steam it. I just couldn't get it to work, y'all. Then I remembered you can rinse them. You can rinse that peeling right off. It's easy to do that. Well, that didn't work either. I tried so hard. So I'd already went through the 4 peppers. Then I got the other pan that looked so pretty and blistered. Well, I went through them. That didn't work. But I did get enough to slice. Most of the time, something like this, something I can't do, it challenges me and it makes me work harder to do it. But you know what? This didn't bother me in the least. And I said, the heck with this. So I got the peppers that I could, sliced them up, and we made a delicious dish anyway. Well, that didn't work out as good as I thought it would. And I'm the first to admit it. If I do something wrong, I'm going to do something wrong. But you know what? We're going to make this work. So I've peeled as much as I can. I've removed the seeds from all of those that I was going to freeze. I overcooked the first ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop these up. I'm going to chop them up and put them in my mixture. I think it's still going to be good. Then I'm going to make a cream sauce to go over it. I think there's a quote somewhere that says, when life gives you lemons, just make lemonade. So that's what we're doing. Friends brought us some more vegetables. I'm going to share these with a friend. And I'm going to mix this up. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when we get it going. These are now called unstuffed poblano. Poblano. I asked Siri how to say it, and they had a lady on there saying Poblano. So that's how we say it, when we can say it. So we're going to call these unstuffed because I didn't do them good enough. I don't like doing that. Nope, not sure I'll do this again, but I'm going to make it good. I can tell you this, it smells really good in this pot. Let me show you what it looks like. So I think it's going to be. If we had smell-o-vision, you'd see what I'm talking about. So this is our filling to the unstuffed poblanos. I can't even say it. Now, I saw some people add corn to this, and I saw some people do all kinds of different things. My plan was to stuff those peppers, but those peppers didn't want to be stuffed. So we're going to make more like a casserole out of this, and it's going to work, y'all. It's going to work. So we started out by just putting the meat mixture in a casserole dish. And then remember the other dish I talked about making with the sour cream sauce? Well, I couldn't get that out of my head, so I thought that sure would be good on top of that. So I just whipped some up. I just mixed sour cream and a little heavy whipping cream, heated it up in the same pan I did the meat sauce in, and just cooked it until it was thickened. Then I added some salsa on top of the meat mixture. Now, this is nowhere in that recipe, but this is what I made up. I'll put the original recipe of the stuffed peppers in the description box, but that's not what we're making here. Well, those peppers were supposed to be the star of the show, but I think this sour cream sauce was the star of the show. It was delicious. We're going to call this unstuffed poblano peppers, I think. And now we're going to top this with some cheese, and I've got my oven preheating at 350. So we're just going to put cheese over this and bake it just till it's heated through. Yeah, I'm going to serve this over chips. You know what would be really good is to have a layer of refried beans in this. This is going in the oven. Look at that. It looks pretty good to me. Unstuffed poblano stuffed peppers. Works for me. I am going to get a cookie sheet in case it does spill over. But don't that look good? I'll just go ahead and give you a hint that this was delicious. See, you can do whatever you want in the kitchen. It's fun. And I just had to show you my last little garden haul from Setting Rock Farms. I really appreciate our good friends Carolyn and Brian bringing these over. We enjoyed their visit a lot. As you can see, I'm going to be busy. Okay, y'all, I'm going to get this out of the oven. It looks really pretty and smells really good. I don't know which will be best to bring this to you or you to it, but I think you can see it. It looks so good and smells delicious. I think we've created something really, really good. Don't this look delicious? Now, all the time I teach to use what you have in your kitchen. That's a great lesson, but here's another one. If you mess up, just make something good out of it. Look what we did. It was supposed to be stuffed peppers. It ended up being unstuffed peppers. So I chose today to serve these over chips. Really looks good. Unstuffed poblano peppers. So look at that. Don't that look good? Got cheese everywhere. Very cheesy, very cheesy. So I'm going to taste of it just with the meat mixture and the peppers and the cheese and the sour cream. It looks really, really good if I can get a bite of it. And it's very hot. So, it's really good. Really, really good. And I love this salsa. This salsa is great. Probably one of the better salsas I've ever eaten. I'll link that salsa recipe in the description box. This is very good, y'all. Even though it didn't work out like I wanted it to, would I do it again? I probably wouldn't do those peppers. It's too much work. I was so proud of them. But I will say they're very good. No, I probably wouldn't do it again. But I love the dish. The dish is delicious. So if you want to try the dish, you could use any pepper in it. You don't have to do that where you have to charbroil the peppers. That's too much work for me. The dish is excellent. It's really good. The peppers, I'm not sure I'd do that again. Salsa delicious. Everything's good. If you mess up, just keep going. Figure it out. That's what I did. Unstuffed, stuffed poblanos. That's how Siri said to say it. Poblanos. Poblanos are probably not for me. Very good though. But that's the meat mixture. That's not the peppers to me. So, very good. I would definitely make this dish again using a different kind of pepper. One that don't cost, you to work so hard. I've tried it. I've done it. I'm not going to do it again. But I will make this again. That's delicious. Absolutely delicious. So we're going to call it Unstuffed, Stuffed Poblanos. Very good. Y'all go cook something.